Hi, everyone. It's Emily Williams here again, the founder of I Heart My Life. And I have Courtney Carroll here with me, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. Hey, Courtney, thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm Courtney Carroll and I'm founder of Courtney Carroll Coaching, and I'm a business strategist and I specialize in sales and all things technology. So I'm excited to be here.
Incredible. So I know that you have a lot to share with us. You've recently hit some huge milestones in your coaching business, so we're going to get to that in a second. But first, I'd love to hear a little bit about your story before you found coaching and what you were doing.
Yeah, so prior to coaching, I was in a corporate job. I was in sales and I was doing really well. I was at the top of my game. I was making six figures. I was top 5 in sales every single year. I was rookie of the year. I just had a ton of accolades, but I also had so much pressure, so much stress, and I just didn't feel like I was fulfilling a greater purpose in the world. And I got to a point where, and I shared this with you before, but I got to a point where I was going to get anxiety medication and I was going to see a therapist and I was doing all these things. And what I ended up realizing was that wasn't the issue. The issue was what I was doing, and I just didn't feel like I had a purpose and I wasn't living my true life. So prior to coaching, I was very sales, corporate, all of the 9 to 5, like it just, the stuff that kind of soul sucking, really. Yeah.
And so how did you discover coaching?
Well, I've always coached actually softball. So I've always been in like the coaching type industry since I've been 18. So I played college softball, and for me, growing up in coaching, that was always my outlet and my passion project, coaching kids and working a ton of stuff on the mental side and really helping get them through the game that can teach them the amazing life lessons. And I was scrolling through my Facebook actually one night, and a different coach came across my thing, and I just started like researching and looking into it. And I was like, what am I, like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, this is my calling. This is what I'm good at. Hello, like, you do this as a fun side passion thing and you love business. Why are you not combining the two? So it was almost like a huge aha moment one night when I couldn't sleep.
Amazing. And I love talking about the fact that you were already coaching within that sport and within softball. And so many people, I think, I don't know if it's an aversion to coaching, but they question it. Do I really need that help? Can't I do this on my own? Yet in so many other areas, we have coaches and we have extra support, and we know that it makes a world of difference. Yeah. So I just love that point that you'd already been, living that and seeing coaching working in other ways.
And the funny thing, Emily, is when I found you, I was in that space. I was like, I can figure this out. Like, and then I was like, Courtney, what are you doing? Like, your kids come to you until they're in college. They need you. You need to be working with them. You need someone to work with. And so for me, it was almost like all these different aha moments coming across. Like, you need someone to help you. You need someone to push you along. And I told you this too, I came for the mindset work and got more than I bargained for. That's what
You're the opposite of most people. Most people want to bypass that.
Yeah, no, that's all I was there for. I was like, I need some mental mindset help and some support. And obviously the program is way more than that. But it was a huge piece for me. And I appreciate that piece too, because you're right. A lot of people do want to bypass that. And that was one of the things that drew me into you.
Yeah. And so tell us a little bit more. So what did you feel you needed mindset around? And for most people, it's, my point of putting it into the program before we get to your answer is that we aren't born entrepreneurs, and we have to create a mindset that is entrepreneurial, that can help us when things don't seem to be going right or, are a bit more difficult. So that was my intention. What was your reason or your desire for the mindset work?
For me, I know how important it is growing up in sports, and I think about entrepreneurship as a sport. Like, it's a long game. And you're going to have great days and you're going to have horrible days or weeks, and it's going to happen. And I think that the mindset is what brings you back from that valley. And I'd been doing a lot of work on my own, different types of avenues, but I knew that I needed specific money mindset, entrepreneurial type things that were going to take me to the next level.
Love it. So you discovered coaching, you discovered this program. So when you found iHeart Coaching, were you all in right away, or did it take some convincing? What was your process?
I was torn, like back and forth, because I had previously worked with someone. And I think this was the time about where I was in the space of you need to continuously work with someone. Because it's great for the time being and you have the accountability and you have all the tools that you need, but then you get busy in your business and all that falls by the wayside. But to answer your question, I was back and forth quite a bit and I missed all the bonuses. I paid more for the program. I could have gotten all of those things, but I was just like, no, it'll be like, I don't need to spend that money. I don't need to spend that money. And then the last minute I was like, you're being ridiculous. Invest in yourself, jump in, you know, you want it, you know, you need it, you know, you're going to benefit from it. And so that was where, you know, last minute I was wrestling. I was even talking to my best friend. I was like, should I do this? Should I not do this? Should I do it? She was like, don't be ridiculous. Do it. You know you're going to love it. So that was how I ended up jumping
you have that support around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of people feel that same way. And I know for me, when I signed up for a group program, I missed out on everything as well. I think I joined a few days when the price went up, after the price went up as well. So I totally get that. But at least you got in. And so
Yes.
if we're being real here, you didn't actually show up very much on the calls. You didn't share your big successes. I only very recently learned about the amazing things that you achieved. But obviously you were going through the program. So tell us a little bit about the past. I mean, you literally just finished. So the past, 8 months or so.
I am I was working 3 jobs at the time. I was still in my corporate job. I was doing real estate on the side. And I was trying to start this business. So
that's a lot.
Excuses. Yeah. No excuses.
That's a lot.
But I was I am an introvert, which a lot of people don't understand that about me because I can be super chatty and outgoing from time to time.
Yeah, I'm an introvert too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the program, I'm a sit back and learn and observe, and I learn really well from others. So I don't necessarily need to be in the forefront in a group program like that to get a ton out of it, obviously.
Yeah. And I didn't, this is not about making anything wrong, but I just love the fact that you had all, this big story to share. And I only recently found out of it. It's really incredible. And you're not alone. So many people join the program with kids and, 3 jobs, like you said, and so much happening.
Right.
I just wanted you to share that because regardless of all the stuff that's happening, it is possible to complete it and get results.
Well, and I want people to know that don't feel like you have to be at every single thing and, all in 100% all the time, always contributing. And there are people that were in the group that were like that and they were amazing and I got so much value from them. But I think that's the cool thing about the group program is you have many different personalities and you all benefit and learn from each other. And like, if I could share anything with anyone, it would be to don't make that wrong, make that be okay. And learn from people and know that just because you're introverted and you're going into a group program, you're not going to be put on the spot all the time. You're not going to have these, moments of being made wrong or none of that is there. Like it's all support and love, no matter what personality type you have. And to me, that was hugely beneficial.
Amazing. Yeah. James and I talk about, he's a massive extrovert and I'm an introvert and it's all about, how you get your energy. And so it's definitely a place for all types of people. And although, you said you were more introverted, I know that you've also made some really great friendships through the program, correct?
Right. Yeah. I think that, we're talking about doing a mastermind on our own and things like that. So I think that having the support of the ladies is like, I know that I could reach out to them and have any questions or have support if I need it on that day. And to me, I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't. And having a group of women, and I shared with you a little bit this too, like I don't have an awesome support system. I have a few great pieces of support system, and almost fearful to be too successful. But in the group, everyone is having success. Everyone is being supportive, and you feel like it's a safe space to be like, I'm amazing, and that's okay.
Yeah, we encourage bragging because I think so often women, we don't showcase ourselves, and we don't want to speak about all the amazing things that are happening. We don't want other people to feel bad or be seen as bragging. But especially if you're going to put yourself out there in the online world, you have to get used to being visible. And so part of our training is to support you in being visible in the group. So that's a really amazing reminder.
Yeah, for sure.
Take me to, so you registered for the program, you've gone through it. So tell us what has changed in your life and in your relatively new coaching business since starting.
Everything. Really everything. My financial situation is completely different. I am signing high-end clients for one-on-one coaching programs. I just launched a brand new course. So I want to say lower end course because what's in there is amazing, but it's something that is different than one-on-one coaching, which I charge a premium for, because what changed is I realized how valuable I was and how my knowledge is needed. And that to me was the biggest mind shift in working in the program, was that you can charge what you're worth, and that's okay. And people are willing to pay it because you're good.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit about your one-on-one program. So what are the services and what is that expertise that you provide?
Yeah, so any one-on-one client I work with, it's 100% catered to what their needs are. So we'll go through a discovery call and we'll discover what they need. Have they even started a business yet? And a lot of mindset type questions get asked because I want to see where they are right now and I want to meet them where they are. So it's a weekly one-on-one call. And then they have unlimited access to me via email and Facebook Messenger within reason. And I'm proud to say that I set the boundaries really well to where they know that they're not going to be taking advantage of me. And I know that, and I appreciate that. So they're getting one-on-one coaching once a week for 6 months. And then anything that is specifically catered to their business. It totally depends on what it is. It could be marketing, email sequences, funnel building, or growing and getting them out there and getting them visible.
Great. And so when did you launch that one-on-one program? Was it, what part of the program?
I really didn't launch it hard until probably April, May.
It's only a few months ago. So one of the things that blew us away about your story is the fact that already in your coaching business, there was a day where you made 3 times your corporate salary. So tell us a little bit more about these huge results you've gotten, and also when you felt comfortable to leave your 9-to-5.
Oh, that's such a good question. So first of all, that result blew me away. I was astounded, ecstatic. I wasn't surprised. I think that was shocking to me. I expected to be surprised, and I wasn't. Knowing the knowledge that I have and having the confidence to say this is great, what I have to offer is so valuable, has really changed me as a human. But leaving my 9-to-5, I think it wasn't a money thing for me leaving my 9-to-5. That was my fear, but it was something that just had to happen. It was crushing me as a person. It wasn't who I wanted to be. It wasn't an environment I wanted to be in. So leaving my 9-to-5, I would say it was personal. It wasn't financial. It was personal, and I knew I would figure out the rest.
Incredible. And so since then, tell us a little bit more about the results you've gotten in your business.
Yeah. So my first month after quitting my job, which was in March, March, April, beginning of April, I had 4 times my salary. And that was just from connecting with people and networking, and I didn't have a funnel yet. And I mean, I didn't have a lot of the pieces that I think a lot of people who are getting into online business think they have to have. They have to have everything perfect. And it was a sloppy, hot mess, but I just got out there and figured it out. And things were great. You know, working with the clients that I was working with, I was getting them amazing results. They were moving forward in their lives and their businesses. And I think that that was eye-opening for me to know, like, okay, you did make 4 times your salary. You can do this. You're going to do this. And that was just a huge milestone for the success that I know is coming.
Wow. And so what would you say for the person who is thinking, okay, so she just went out there, she left her 9-to-5 job, and now, you know, literally in that same month, she made 4 times her corporate salary, and she's saying that she was a hot mess and she didn't have the funnels up, and I have all my funnels and I've been working so hard and it's not happening. What is your secret?
Oh, good question. I really believe it is the confidence to get out there. I think there's something in that person holding them back. And I've been there. I mean, you know how it is. Business goes like this, and it's a roller coaster. And I'm literally coming off one of the worst weeks in business I've ever had to this interview to talk about my success. And I'm like, but I know when I think back, like, you can bring those things back in. And so having the funnels and the systems, I think it's more about the connection. You have to connect with someone. You can have a funnel in place all day, but if you can't connect with that human on the other end of their computer, they're looking for a human connection. They're not looking for a robot. And I think that that's something that a lot of people miss when they go into online business. They think, well, I got all the tech and I've got all this. How are you connecting with that person? Are you getting on a call with them, or are you doing it through what you're saying, through your copy? And, you know, the emails that you do send them, are they heartfelt? Are they real? Are you willing to say, hey, I had a crappy week this week. Here's what I did to change that. And I think that's something that a lot of people take out when they put in the funnels, is the human element of it.
Yeah, I think you're completely right. I love that you're being so transparent and honest here. So I want to ask you a little bit more about all of that. But first, I'm wondering, and I'm sure other people are wondering, with that month right out of your 9-to-5, where did you find those clients? Were they people already in your network, or where did they come from?
No, they were actually through groups, online groups that I had been just jumping in and offering free value. And because I wanted to get out there, for me, it was a confidence thing. You know, if I could show someone something that I knew and they got value out of it and they were able to take a step forward, it was like building blocks of confidence. And I had been doing that since about the beginning of the program. So probably the beginning of the program, I had just been continually offering free value, but I hadn't really been putting out my services to say, hey, I offer this, let me help you, and could you pay me? So I hadn't been
stopped you up to that point.
I think it was just having so much on my plate. And for me, it was the long game of, I know I'm going to be working in my corporate job until March. So I'm just going to keep providing value in the long game, provide value, provide value, provide value. And then I can start, you know, asking for the sale.
I'm just looking at Lori Ray. She said, love it. Sloppy hot mess to wild success. New tagline. So like I said, I love your transparency, and I think so many people want to hear the real side of things. So like you said, you're coming into this interview. The past 2 weeks have been less than what you desired. So how do you know how to pick yourself up and continue on and just keep going? Like, where does that strength come from for you? And what would you say to someone who's in the same place?
Sure. For me, I let myself sit in it for a little bit, like a day or so or less. I will let myself sit in it, because if I don't, then I'll come back to it. So I'll let myself sit in it and be okay with that. Totally sucked. That was terrible. Nothing about this week was good, but it's fine, because I know that you do have to pick yourself up. And as an entrepreneur, it's more about the long game. And I remember that it's not day to day. It's what you're doing long term that's going to make you successful in the end. And I think that a lot of people forget that, because they may have a client say no, or like your story where you had, was it 54 no's in a row?
54 no's in a row.
Right. So how do you pick yourself up, right? I mean, those things happen. And I think the long-term goals far outweigh the short-term disappointments or frustrations or, you know, upset or whatever that might be. It's a long-term game. And I think people forget that. And they jump in, they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to be rich right away. And that just isn't the case. I mean, like, even for myself, I'm still long-terming. Like, it's a long end game. And, you know, for the money that I'm making, it's amazing, but I'm using it to reinvest and, you know, like, there's other things that go along with it. And I think people forget that so often.
Totally. And I think it's about that vision. And obviously you felt called to do this work. And again, like with my 54 no's in a row, it was about keeping in mind those people that I wanted to serve and the purpose that I felt that I had. And that's what kept me going. Like I knew that I wouldn't have felt called to do this unless I actually was. And so I just had to keep going and figure it out. And there's no, you know, I was doing a call with Kimra Luna the other day, and she was saying that, you know, the most successful people are just those people who have failed more times than everyone else. And I know that we all throw quotes around like that, but it's actually
so true.
Yeah. So I love that you're sharing the other side of things. And I also love that you're sharing what's possible, because for the woman who's in the 9 to 5 and she's feeling like you felt, you know, trapped and like it wasn't your purpose, it wasn't lighting you up, to hear that she can start a business and make 4 times what she's making in her job, 3 times her corporate salary in one day, and that all of that possible. And you literally just started this business like last October-ish, maybe later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I mean, I just want to give you massive credit. I know how it can feel when it feels like things aren't as you want them to be for the past 2 weeks. I get it. But what you've done is amazing.
Yes. And I so appreciate that. And I think, you know, having you you inspire me just as a person to really push me through the mindset pieces. And there were so many shifts that happened internally that were because of something you said or something I read in the program or something one of the other women said. And I think that that's something that if I could just portray to anyone who's thinking about joining the program, you're going to get way more than you ever think you're going to get. And obviously I made way more than what the program cost in my very first month of like actually launching and saying I'm doing this. It's worth every penny. And even if you're like me and you're introverted and you don't really want to talk to anybody, that's okay too. Like, you're going to be fine. You're going to get so much value out of it. And you know,
and then Emily will make you get on an interview and you'll have to be in front of lots of people.
Which is fine. I'm good with it. I'm totally fine with it now.
It's just you and me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think that, you know, if I could help anybody to make that decision, I would love for them to reach out to me. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get. And I had no clue, and I was terrified and I was scared and I felt like it was a lot of money, and I got my money's worth in the first week. Like, it was amazing. Wow. So I think that people just need to understand you continuously need someone and you need support, and that is going to help take you further. Can I say one more thing?
Please, go for it.
So on the 6-figure, like on the job, like I talk to a lot of women, obviously. And I think one of the things that women who are in successful jobs that holds them back is they're like, well, I'm successful. Why I can't do this? I can't take my 6-figure salary job and throw it out the window. That's ridiculous. Only crazy people do that. And just know that if you have the desire and the drive, work it on the side and get it building and start providing the value. And then when you are ready, you have both, and then you can just cut it off and be done. Like, I think that a lot of people, and even for myself, I was told so many times that I'm crazy, and how can I leave a job that good? And how can I leave such a stable job? And all of those cliche things that you hear whenever you quit a successful career. I heard them all. And I think that, you know, coming out on the other side, it's worth every penny. I don't have, you know, the anxiety. I don't have the stress that I had. And I actually get to live a purpose. I get to impact other women. And to me, there is no greater gift.
Couldn't have said it better. I think it just makes me think of what one of our other students, Camilla, said the other day. She said, I kept thinking, how can I invest in this? How can I possibly make this decision? And then she thought to herself, how can I not?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. How can you stay in a job that doesn't light you up? You have one life.
Right.
For me, like that would be the worst thing. And I just love everything that you've said.
Awesome. It's true. How you have one life.
Yeah.
And you got to start living it. Yes, go.
Final question for you. No, you're good. So coming up, we still have a few more months left in 2017. What's on the radar for you and what are you most excited about?
Oh, good question. So I did just launch a new program. My goal is to hire some staff and really pull myself out of the day-to-day grind of all the technology pieces. And now I know how to do all them, working on teaching that to other women, but do it in a more automated way. So, hustle less, my funnel's live, being able to teach more women than just the one-on-one, what the one-on-one time allows me. And then just be able to impact women in a greater way. I think that, I'm been booked for a couple of speaking gigs, which is really exciting. And I can't wait for those just to be on a different, stage and, be more visible. I think that's, something we're always striving for. And especially as introverts, being visible is sometimes difficult. So those are my goals. Step out of it a little bit of the daily grind and pass some of that stuff off and then, keep moving forward and getting more visible and, meeting more people and just moving forward.
Beautiful. Love it. Can't wait to watch. So if anyone watching has been inspired by Courtney and wants to sign up for iHeart Coaching, we're in the early bird period, which means you're going to save $1,500 if you go to iHeartCoaching.com. That's only until Sunday. So go there now and sign up. And everything Courtney shared is possible for you. I want everyone to hear that. And I know you'll echo that too, Courtney. There's nothing, I think you're amazing, but there's also nothing special about you and me that other people can't do too. But I think we all just need to be reminded of that.
Yeah, no, so true. I say that all the time. There's nothing special. I just choose to do it.
Yep, the choice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. I'm so excited to see what's next for you. Again, we've been blown away by your story. So glad that you decided to share and come out of the closet and get visible with us. So we'll be watching.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily.
Thanks, Courtney. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.